Hello, folks. It's a new year, 2021. It's been a long time. I believe my last video was probably back in February of 2020. It's been a long time. I mean, I don't want to get caught up on those things, but I just it's a whole new era. It's a whole new time. Starting to get all choked up. I guess, get embarrassed or something. But man, I'm telling you, the ride has been crazy. And you know where we're at. We have went through over a year of abuse. And when I say abuse, I mean literally being under the foot of heavy government uh, heavy government scrutiny, heavy government oppression. That's all you could call it. It's just been thick and heavy, and still is. Remember? It was just going to be 2 weeks to slow the spread. And now we've been here a year. And they say it's still spreading. That's all you hear. But I think we're all tired of hearing that. There's been a lot of sad stories. There's been a lot of struggle. It's really weighed us down. But what I'm going to bring to you is the fact that life might just be two opposing factions. I'm not guaranteeing you this, but I will tell you this much. One side of us wants to be free and open and caring towards each other and lively and joyful and peaceful towards others. And allow everybody to have their freedoms and their speech and their live their life in harmony with Earth and the enjoyment of the planet, and just having their life unfold the way they choose to unfold it. Not to be forced to live a life being told how to live your life, or being put in a situation or position that you don't want to be in. And of course, we've seen that with the changing of the guard, nothing let up. In fact, it got stricter and thicker and scarier as far as the leaders and the politics. Well, so at this point, they're going to do what they're going to do. And all you can do is use the system that's available, the courts, the politicians that are available, to state your piece. That's the only option. So at this point, this video has nothing else to do with any of that, but I'm going to give you a different perspective. I mean, it does relate to that, but to each their own. And so, for those of you that are preferring to stay engaged in the political and, I don't know, battle in that regard. I think that route is still available to go through the courts for relief. It may not get you what you want, but if you get pushed into the situation, that might be a route, because it's all it's all just a battle at every corner, every avenue, every facet. It's a fight, and some just want to fight that way. I prefer that we live our lives, as I had said, in those freedoms. And that's what I'm going to have to go on and do. And I get kept out of stores because I won't wear the mask, and I'm sure I'll be finding my own way to get by and get my own things as needed. Right now, I have family that will wear the mask and go do whatever shopping, but I didn't cut my hair for a year, and then finally I got tired of it after the barber shops and all that. My hair just got too long. I had to go have them get a razor and cut it myself. And I mean, I know everybody's done their own thing along that line, but if this government keeps smashing down in on us, it's going to be harder and harder to do anything. And so I'm not going to go out and cause trouble. I'm not going to go out and look for problems. If I have to start fighting for something, if they put a blockade in my way that I just can't live without, then I'll have to, go to court or do whatever I have to. But at this point, I have no fight, not for that. And that's just it. But let's talk about the why. It's really not because of the disease. That little virus or whatever passed through a long time ago. The rest of it's been brainwashing and hype. And what do they call it? I think it's called hypochondriac, where you just think you're sick. You know what I mean? And I think most people who do participate in this idea of, oh my God, there's a killer virus out there, they just are of low IQ, because they've always been afraid of everything. They've been afraid of the boogeyman. They've been afraid of every disease. Maybe they were from another culture and they were always sick. And we all have our own mentalities. And the only way you get out of that is you educate yourself. You get better knowledge. And so I don't mean to say low IQ as to insult where they're at. My point for saying it is they just have not educated themselves to a level of understanding, because everybody knows that the colds and the flus come at weather change points, and that no virus makes it through a weather change point, and it surely doesn't live throughout the summer. There's no way. It's a transition type sickness. Now, cancer is different, in my opinion. but that's beside the point. So I think what we need to understand is that this sickness, this virus phenomenon, is all part of a bigger overall theme in bringing down government, just using this phenomena as a cover. I think if everybody in the world took off their masks, they'd feel better and everybody would be great and the virus would be gone. If you were smart enough to get online and do a little research, which everybody is, but doing the research is another thing. Educating yourself is a process. And if nobody does the research like I did and like others have done and elevate their understanding and knowledge and whatever, then this whole pandemic it's going to work. It's going to accomplish communism in the world under heavy dictatorship and oppression. And that's the corporation's plan. It's sad, but it's true. They're basically organizing the world in a perfect scenario situation. They want to be able to control everything, pipe it into your brain on the computer, and bring it to your doorstep. You won't even it won't even be necessary for you to go outside anymore. You don't need to. Robots will be doing all the delivering and all the work and all the processing, and everything you need will come to your doorstep, and you'll be locked in your own little hole in the wall. And basically, you'll be locked down until you die. Yeah, that's what I think. Now, I'm just kind of speculating. And maybe this will give them a little bit more idea to jazz up their plan. But that's why there's all the violence out there. Everybody's taking their own little piece and their own part and parcel and doing their own little thing. But it all has an end goal. And many don't think about what the end goal might be. All I know is every step that's taken, the next steps is it gets worse and worse and worse. You can kind of see the movements and feel what's going on and watch what's going on the news and what they're saying is happening. And you realize that this is just, everything's screwed up. Every government, every government, every player, every whatever is getting jacked around right now. It's called it's instability. And why? Because it's really a war on humanity. It's a war on people not wanting to live, being told what to do. And it's a battle. And some people really love authority and want to beat you in the head And some people are just like going along with it as best they can. And now we're seeing in some states that they're just saying, okay, it's all open your state, open your restaurants, open them all, open your malls, open your theaters, open everything. Other states are still under lockdown and strict compliance to masks and distance and no indoor dinings and whatever. And I know it's just crazy what's going on. There are those, here's the contrast. There are those that love to have authority over others and love to dangle their authority and power and control on what you think, how you live, and what you do in your every moment of every day. And they want you to be afraid if you're doing something they don't approve of. And I'm telling you right now, that's from top to bottom. That's at your work, that's at your church, that's in your home, and that's in government. Top to bottom control. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's all connected. The church, the big church, as in all the religions, and especially the big wealthy churches, they all went and signed up to volunteer their services for this big plan of the New World Government. And they basically said, we'll do whatever you want for the money. And so did all the governments. And so that's your wealthy, rich, elite, top people. And you aren't going to have a say unless you stand up and say. Now, for instance, it's very important to know that there's been an influx of migrating individuals from our southern border and other countries through the southern border. 173,000 this month. 3 times more than normal. Or 3 times normal than the month before. Whatever. So, used to be down 30 to 50,000. And now, 173,000 in the first month of the Biden presidency, because the border was slung wide open. And the churches have been set in place to be a place of community service, just like with the vaccine stations were requested into churches to help give the vaccine. As well, they'll be called upon again to take in and house, possibly, and assist the migrating population to find them homes, because they were all children, lots of children. And that's their process to infiltrate the next, I don't know, working class into the United States. Of course, after they become a voter bank and are educated in the doctrines of taking over America. And their presence, I mean, under approved traditional processes of immigration, that'd be great, but they're just being shoved in and not following the immigration process and set free into communities. The world is just lawless. It's not the America that we grew up in. It's frustrating, it's sad, and it's going to not fare the country well, because we're not going to have enough housing, food, medical care, schools, or anything like that at this rate of pace. And I mean, it's going to be chaos. I think it was intentional, deliberate for that reason. I can't say whether it's I just disagree with the method. But they're pushing their way. They're forcing their way. That's kind of what the point of my conversation is that they're forcing their will when the American voters and the American citizen and communities will be affected, and nobody was able to it's just the wrong way to do it. It's just the wrong way to do it. It's not the right way to treat citizens. But the system that's in the White House right now, they just want it that way. This is the way they want to do it. And so they're just doing it. And it's unfortunate, and the brunt of it is going to spray across America, and the country is going to basically be rattled up a bit. And that's why they wanted the churches involved. The churches were involved. They were asked to come together, and I'll tell you why. Is because the church, the Bible is written for this era. This is communism. This is where church people would be excited to be do-gooders and align with global powers to open up all borders, to bring in so-called sheep from all the pastures, right? And have them all bow down, come together, live together, sleep together, be together, and that, my friends, is the scariest thing ever, because although the story in the Bible is similar, and people think they're doing the right thing, the people and the processes and the tone is unrighteous. And that is not, in my opinion, the spirit or the truth or the fruits of anything good. And we'll have to wait and see. But I'm of a different persuasion than what the Bible portrays, for a few reasons. And I just don't think that anyone who believes in God would agree with the abuses that have come. Nor the inhumanity of the treatment of many people than we've been under. And it sounds like it's only going to get worse. It all feels like it's a control rather than a positive, moving forward thing for all of humanity. It feels like an oppression rather than it feels like a smashing down rather than a lifting up and a growth and a blooming of something great. So all I'm going to say is I recommend you think about what I've said and examine in your heart and decide for yourself whether what's happening in the world looks like a good thing or if it looks and feels like something negative. And if you find it negative, as I have, then you have to become the positive person within and remain positive and confront and grow to share a message that can bring people to unite with one another during this struggle. Be at peace with your family. Be kind towards those that are around you. Try not to be like the racists are, going around calling people racists. Try not to be negative and attacking other people for what they believe, but try to come to be people's friend, to unite during these struggling times, and to be a positive, uplifting person for those who need to be encouraged and strengthened and brought out of their depression and oppression. Give hope, give kindness, try to keep the peace in the community, build an alliance of friends around you and in your neighborhood, because the challenges that are here, if something doesn't stop, then they're only going to go deeper and harder on you. So stand up, be sovereign, keep your freedom, speak your truth, and endure in faith and grow during this time. Learn to control what you think. Learn to think before you speak. And learn to take what you hear and see and weigh it in your own mind before you speak or act on it. Because many of these people out here are looking for you to make a move or a statement so that they can yell at you, so they can strike you down, so they can beat you, so they can attack you, so they can throw authority and power over you or on you. And so you have to be smarter now. Even if you're a Christian, you need to be smarter now. Discern from what you know in the Word and realize that now the devil is going to and fro, and that you need to be walking in faith. Forget what you see. Rebuke the power if it's upon you, because you have no other choice. Use your name, use your power, and just be strong. I believe that we can still love those who do evil against us, but we love them at a distance. Pray for them. Pray for everyone. Pray for those that are suffering. And when I say pray, I mean put your heart and your intentions towards the positive and consider them by name. And send those emotions and those thoughts out into the air so that they can be taken and that they will fall where you've intended them to fall. Because we are spirit and we are thought and we are soul, and we are divine, we are sovereign, and we are free. Have a great day.